Do you want me to introduce myself and then Ashley and then us kind of dig in? I know Ashley said she's trying to get her video on.
Sure, I could do that. So I want to welcome everybody tonight. I'm very excited for the Freedom Family Call. Tonight we have some really amazing guests speaking. And one thing we do that I'm trying to keep going at the beginning of every call in the chat is I want you to write a win from your week, something you were celebrating from this week, because success, I believe, pours out of gratitude. And a lot of times we get stuck, and I was just actually laughing because I thought I was live in my challenge group, but it was actually in the team page talking about how you're never behind. But maybe that's because the team page needed to hear it too. But we can sometimes get caught up in thinking we're behind instead of recognizing the good of where we are. So everybody please post right now something in the chat and people read it that's good, because the other night at dinner, we were trying to get our kids to, and they're like, I don't know everything to be thankful for, my 7-year-old. I was like, how about you just ate food? How about that you can take a bath? How about that you have lights to turn on? And he was like, whoa, Mom. I was like, there's stuff to be grateful for. And so please post things that you're celebrating because it's important. It's an important part, and I'm celebrating tonight having this call, and I'm so excited to have Amy and Ashley leaning in with us tonight. So Amy is my success partner / I feel like we're this mindset buddies, good friend. We're always kind of calling each other on, helping each other through the business, through the mindset, just supporting one another. And she is a rock star with consistency. We talk about the compound effect. She lives it. And I know because she lives it, success leaves clues. And I've seen it shared when Ashley spoke in Team Courage a while back about how she followed the recipe, being busy, working, not working 25 hours a week, working 7 hours a week. And I think that that's so much easier to grasp onto when you're first getting started, because I think a lot of people assume that because we're maybe more present on social media that we work all the time, but that's not necessary. You can be successful in this business and not have it take up your whole day. And there's a process to follow, and Amy's team has really been growing. There's a 3-star diamond team right now, which is amazing to watch them just continue to grow. And I know other advancements are coming. She's leaning in Josh Coates' elite push group for this fall, and that's really exciting to watch her and cheer her on to that goal. And I just want you guys to take time tonight to soak up the knowledge that you can learn. What's one piece of tonight's call that you can apply in an area to grow in your business? I listen to these calls as a student every week. Even when I prepare for the calls, I learn things. When I'm sitting listening, I'm taking notes. The business is built by people who have a vision and a passion, and they do the work. And what I love is that they are both going to share with you tonight how it's simple, but it's not. The hard part is the showing up, the consistency, the being committed to having that CEO mindset of if you would show up for your regular job, you show up for this, but also that you can have joy in that journey. And so I'm very grateful for them being here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Amy, and then I'll let you introduce Ashley a little more. Usually I ask for bios, and I was like, oh, I just wing it. I'm like, I could talk about how we have coffee in the week and we hang out and we chat goals and we help push each other through the mean girl in our heads, because our mean girl is very similar. They might even be twins. I don't know, but but I'm so thankful y'all took the time and your team is here. So please go ahead and take over, girl.
Hey, you guys, I'm so excited and blessed to be here tonight. Like Kelly said, we have definitely, for about a year now, I think it's been really leaned in with each other. And I think that there's a lot of power behind connecting with what I call sister coaches that aren't necessarily in your downline. But, obviously we are sisters through summer and that downline. And we have definitely helped each other through a lot of not so, great things, and celebrated through those, but also celebrated the wins along the way. Kelly's really good about reminding me to celebrate my wins. Cause I'm not good. That's one thing that I'm not so consistent with, but I'm working on it. I've been a coach for a little over 5 years. I have not always been consistent. I will say that. I have a daughter, Mia, who will be 7 on Halloween, and we homeschool. So we're currently in 1st grade. So that has been a little bit of an adjustment for us and our routine, and just making sure that I'm teaching her all the things that I need to teach her. I did not start Beachbody for those of you that don't know my story, I did not start Beachbody to lose weight. I actually started because I suffered from an eating disorder for over 10 years. I had Mia, and I started, I had a very healthy pregnancy, but kind of got back into some of my eating disorder habits after I had her and was trying to lose the weight. And so really, man, Beachbody, you see it save so many people's lives because they lose weight, they get off medicine, mine was the opposite spectrum. And so that's a really good reminder that we literally have something to offer everybody, and just to ensure that, that we come across that way as well. Ashley is I'm her grandma. Her sister, Whitney, is actually one of my coaches, but we grew up together in church. We're childhood friends. As time passed, we weren't as close, and Beachbody reconnected us. And so that has just been an incredible blessing for the 3 of us, to be able to do this together, to get that, that friendship back, that I'm going to start crying, that sisterhood, it's incredible. And so, it's really been cool to see that kind of evolve, and then to see in our local area how many lives our team is touching through this. And so, Whitney where'd she go? There she is. She is on. I was looking for you. I couldn't. You got your face on now. But so Whitney is my coach, and then Ashley is hers, and so we are all in this together and growing our teams. But Ashley, you can share a little bit more about yourself and your journey and what you have accomplished.
Let me know if I'm cutting out at all. I'm having some technical difficulties. I actually had to pull up the call on my phone. It goes that way sometimes, but it's okay. We'll keep going with it. But I'm so honored that Kelly asked us to be on this call. I look up to Kelly very much. I love to just kind of look at how she portrays herself and portrays Christ. To me, that is so powerful. And so, Kelly, we see you, girl, and you just inspire, and God is blessing your team, and just so excited to watch you grow. And so for all of you that are on Kelly's team, what a blessing it is to have a leader like that. And I can say that too. It's such a blessing for sure, for Amy to be our leader. And Kelly was right. Our team is growing at a 3-star team right now, which I know is just a milestone on the path to Amy's big vision. But what I think is so important is a leader with a vision. And I know Kelly has a vision for this team, and Amy has a vision for our team, and I have a vision for my team. And so having that vision is so important. So first of all, I just want to say, before I even explain my story, I just want you to keep something in mind. No matter where you are in your business, if you are a brand new coach or if you've been building for a while, I want you to understand the value of having a vision for you and your team, or your future team, your growing team, because everyone wants to follow someone that's going somewhere, okay? And so just keep that in mind. And if you don't have a vision, I encourage you to create that vision. And I'm going to actually share a video that I shared in Limitless Lux, which is our team page. I want to share it with Kelly so Kelly can share it with you guys. Maybe something she's already shared. But I've always struggled with my mission statement. Like, I knew I was supposed to have a mission statement. Everybody that has ever mentored me told me that I needed a mission statement. And I've struggled with that because I really felt like, okay, well, if it's my Beachbody mentors that are telling me that I need a mission statement, then it must need to be like business related. But what I've learned through this Tony Robbins video that's so powerful, it's a 10-minute video that changed everything about my mindset in creating a mission statement, is that our mission statement is who we are as human beings. It's what drives us in every area of our life to show up with excellency, no matter what we're doing. And so it just made it so clear to me. And I've got my mission statement right here, and I want to read you mine really quick because I think this is so important. And then I'm going to backtrack and tell you a little bit about my story. But so this is my mission statement. I show up with fire, passion, and a surge of energy to every encounter and create an environment for others to feel empowered and loved. The beauty that I choose to see in the world helps others see beauty in life and in themselves. I bring love, beauty, and energy into this world as a reflection of Jesus Christ who set me free. And so that is like what makes me show up no matter what. Not easy. If everybody will check, just make sure everyone's muted. I hear a little bit.
Trying to mute people as they pop on. I think everyone's muted now.
Okay. But I think like so many times when we're like, okay, do I feel like doing the things today? So many times, you guys, really, the answer is no. Like, we don't always feel like doing the things, and we're going to get into what the things are. But, before we even figure all that out, we need to have a vision and we need to have that mission statement. And that's what keeps us going. Like, I can't just not show up every day when I'm reading this mission statement. Like, that's in my head, and I'm like, I really have to show up with this energy and this passion because that's who I say that I am, like, and so I encourage you guys, and like I said, I'll send Kelly the link to that, and if she hasn't shared that before, it's a really great way to kind of inspire you to figure out your mission statement. Okay, so I'm Ashley, and I am a one-star diamond coach. I've been a coach for 2 years. I had no plan of coaching whatsoever. I had just really struggled with my weight my entire life, and I signed up as a discount coach because I wanted to save money on my Shakeology. I didn't want to pay full price. And so my sister Whitney, that Amy was talking about a while ago, who is my coach, had been doing Beachbody for a year. This was June of 2017. She had been doing Beachbody for a year at that point, and I had tried everything under the sun short of gastric bypass or bariatric surgery. And that was just not on my radar. It was not something that I was interested in personally. But I had tried everything else. And I remember so well getting to a point one night where I felt like, oh my gosh, like I've really, because you know how when something doesn't work, you can just give up and jump onto the next thing. And that's like the culture we live in. Like, if it don't feel good, we just jump to the next thing. And that's what I had done over and over and over in my health and fitness journey. And so, but I finally felt like, oh my goodness, I think I've honestly tried everything there is to try, like everything under the sun, and nothing has clicked. And that was such a scary feeling, like to feel like that I didn't have the next magic pill to jump to next, and so I hit my rock bottom. And my sister after doing Beachbody for an entire year, had never pushed me to do what she was doing. She just showed up like every day, and I saw such joy in her life that I had not seen in so long, and peace and confidence, and she was excited about the changes in her body, and I could just tell she felt better. Like, she has always suffered with chronic migraines. that wasn't happening anymore. And so, you know, it just inspired me so much. And so, I'm a makeup artist. That is my full-time career, outside of Beachbody. And, I work the Miss North Carolina pageant every year for an entire week. I just moved to Raleigh, North Carolina for an entire week, and I work it. And Whitney always comes and she'll stay with me at the end of the week, like for the pageant. And I remember so well the night of the pageant, I told her, I said, tomorrow I really, really want something to change. Like, tomorrow's the day. And the reason that it hit me at that point was because I had promised myself that had been like the 5th year that I had gone to the pageant, worked the pageant. And every year I felt so self-conscious. I just didn't have any self-confidence and felt so insecure in my own skin. And I promised myself every year, I'm not coming back next year without, you know, things changing and me feeling more confident, being in better shape, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I would let another year pass. Like, how many can, like, testify to that? That happened many times in your life. Maybe that's going on right now. Just time go by over and over, and you're living the same, like Groundhog Day, over and over. And so that's how I felt. And so I told Whitney, I said, tomorrow when we wake up, we check out of this hotel, I want everything to be different. Like, it has to change tomorrow. I'm done. I'm done with this life. And so we got up the next morning, we checked out of the hotel. We went grocery shopping and did, like, for the meal prep, and I never looked back. Like, literally that day, it just clicked. And it was because my sister kept showing up for herself and for her journey. And so never doubt that showing up and sharing what you're doing, even if you're not attracting the exact people that you felt like you would attract. Because my sister probably thought, well, like, I'll get my sister really quick, right? Because we've always done everything together, and it took a year. So keep persevering, for sure. So at that point, I was over 300 pounds, was struggling so bad. My health was not good. My joints were terrible. I was just in so much pain all the time. And that so quickly changed. I truly believe Shakeology saved my life, 100%. As soon as I got that in my body, and then started removing so much of the processed foods and all of that, started working out, started with a very low impact workout, started with UV2. My health changed drastically within, yes, Whitney's saying 4 hours in Sprouts, but that was not because of me. That was because of her, because she looks at everything on every aisle. So anyway, my body changed, my health changed, my energy changed, my confidence changed so quickly. And I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that I would be so selfish if I kept that to myself and did not share that and pay that forward and help other people to have the same breakthrough that I'd had. And so in August, so 2 months later, I began coaching and just began sharing what Beachbody had done for me, sharing my personal journey, and my business grew from there. But it was very sporadic. Okay, so for the first year, I would just kind of like work here and there, not the solid year. So like the first up until May, just like I would post on social media sometimes, you know, just kind of work when I felt like it. Amy would always tell us about the recipe, but that one went in one ear and out the other because I wasn't full time in Beachbody like Amy. So I didn't need to do all of that. And so even though I have an amazing leader, sometimes it takes someone else saying the same things that we've heard over and over and over. You're probably not going to hear anything different from me and Amy tonight than you've been hearing from Kelly for as long as you've been on her team. But sometimes it takes hearing it from a different perspective. And so Amy really encouraged me to get into Summer Tucker's training. And that's what I did in May. And she really, really pushed in one of her trainings 2 very, very important ideals. Okay. So number 1 was that if I had a spouse, he should be signed up and I should be running my customers through him, that was another avenue of income that I was not taking advantage of. if I had not already done that. Okay, so I was like, I've heard that before, but I didn't know how powerful that really would be. And the second thing is, no matter what your goals are in Beachbody, whether it's just to pay for your Shakeology or if it's to retire with this as your full-time income, you do it the same exact way, the recipe. Doing the vitals, doing inviting, following up, finding and connecting. It's the same things. The numbers are different based on what your goals are, but it's the same activity every single day consistently. And I don't know about you, but I've never been consistent. Like the issue in my life with my health and fitness and with so many other areas of my life is I lack consistency. And the recipe gave me consistency that I had never operated in before, and it was very powerful. So I did those two things. I made sure that Stephen was signed up, and I started running all customers through him so that I was double dipping that commission. That doubled my income within a month, which was insane. And the only reason I was able to have any customers to add under him was because I started doing the recipe. And so to sign up our spouse and then to not do the recipe is a total waste of $15.95 every single month. Okay. And so we want to make sure that we're doing the vitals. And we say this in our team page, and it's not to step on any toes or to hurt any feelings. I think sometimes we just need people to be real with us. And so I just want to say to you, okay, that if you're not doing the recipe, and I don't know if Kelly calls it the recipe or exactly what she calls it, but it's the vital behaviors. If we're not doing those things, we do not have a coaching business. We have a hobby. We have something that we like to do to inspire people every now and then, but we can't get upset when it doesn't produce an income, and when it doesn't, when our team doesn't grow, like all of that, we can't get upset. It's like we choose. Either we want it to be a hobby, we want to inspire people every now and then, or we want an income and we want a business. And so it's our choice. It's our choice what we do with it. And so I started working the recipe, and I want to tell you, and I'm going to be real quick about this, and I will turn it back over to Amy. I want to tell you exactly what happened for my business, my income progression from last May, so May of 2018 through January of this past year. So it's crazy, and it's 100% like I like went through it, added it up, and this is it to a T. Okay. So in May, I started working the recipe. Okay. That month I was able to pay for my Shakeology. 2 months later, so all of this goes in 2-month increments. I think that momentum was building, and that, it's like a lot of times right now, what we're doing is what we will see in 2 to 3 months. So we have to keep pushing forward. Okay. So 2 months later, which was in July, it paid for my Shakeology and it paid for my husband's Shakeology. 2 months later, in September, it paid for my Shakeology, his Shakeology, and our son's private school tuition. 2 months later, it paid for all of that and our car and insurance. Then in January, so January 1st of this past year, which is, what was that, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. So 8 months. This is an 8-month progression. It was able to pay for both of our Shakeologies, our son's private school tuition, our car payments and insurance, and our mortgage. Because I decided to do what I had been told to do over and over and over, just flipping do the things. That it's that simple. Like, we do training after training. We try to find all the YouTube videos and all the right scripts and all of that. The truth is, just do the recipe. And I built the recipe, like my business doing the recipe, very small numbers. It's what Summer Tucker taught. And it was 2 + 2 + 2 + 2. So I found 2 new people every day, connected with 2 new people, invited 2 people, and followed up with 2 people. Now, I will say, just because volume has changed a little bit on challenge packs and things like that, we are now doing 4, 4, 4, and 4, which really, it's still such minimum numbers, like, to inspire 4 people and to ask 4 people if you can help them change their lives, 4 people a day, and like close your laptop and go on the rest of your day. You can knock out the 4 in as short of time as you could knock out the 2. And so now that's what we build our team with. As soon as a new coach starts and they're ready to build a business, they go into the recipe and they find 4 new people, connect to 4 new people, invite 4 new people, and follow up 4 new people every single day, at least 5 days a week. And that's what builds your business. And when you can do that consistently, then you can say to yourself, I am a coach. I have a coaching business. I'm not just inspiring people every now and then when it feels good to me or when I'm excited about my own progress. I know that what I have is valuable and I'm willing to share it even when things don't feel good, even when my progress is not perfect. I know what this can do for other people because of what it's done for me in the past. And I'm going to keep showing up and doing all the things. And I'm also doing it because I have a mission statement and other people deserve to experience what I have to offer. And I also do it because I have a vision and I'm going a certain place, and I can't do that without doing certain things. And that's the recipe, and it's that simple. And so if you're sitting here right now and you're trying to figure out like exactly what to do to get to your next goal, but you're not doing the recipe, that's the number one answer. It's not going to happen without that. It's just not going to happen. And I want to just ask you this one question. If there was a store, like a really great store in your town, and they only decided to open up randomly, they don't even have their hours posted, but maybe like 3 to 4 times a month, they just open and they just post it on Facebook. Okay, I'm open. We're open today. Like, how frustrating would that be? Would that be a business that you would even trust or want to frequent? And I think when we're talking about our Beachbody business, our business as a coach, we have to realize that when we're not doing the recipe, we're not opening the door to our store, and people don't know they can trust us, and they don't know if they can show up and actually get what they think we offer. And they're going to go to the next store that is open, that's showing up and is offering the help. So if you don't offer that help, someone else is going to, and you're going to miss out on someone that, really could have been the person that needed your help desperately, or the next big player on your team. We never know. And that's why we have to open our mouths and do the things. All right. I'm turning it back over to Amy. I'm done.
I just hijack for 1 sec. So y'all, I'm so glad you guys are here tonight, because we just did a call for our new coaches, because we're doing a new coach academy in the group, or it's called Freedom Academy, but we were talking about the 2, 2, and 2, which is the recipe. And what I love is we're reading the compound effect as a team right now too. And so y'all, that was the compound effect. You just got the book in a great 10-minute story, but what I love that you shared is it's just doing it every day. And you just have, and something that was one time said is sometimes your sign up date and your start date as a coach are different. So you can sign up and I signed up and kind of piddled around for a few months and then started. And even when I started, there were seasons of push and seasons of back, but one thing was I always did some variation of the recipe, whether it was 2, 2, 2 or 4, 4, 4 or 10, whatever aligned. But I'm hoping for a lot of people that I know, myself included, I struggle with all or nothing. And so it's you go whack the tree 150 times one day, and then your arms are so tired. The next day you look at the tree and you're like, I don't want to touch the axe. But the momentum and the discipline of the 2, 2 or 4, 4, 4, and then you walking away is so easy to also invite other people to do, because you're not so burned out on your business that you're afraid to offer the gift to people. And I find that that's a valuable lesson I've learned the last 2 years. When I actually take a break from work, it's actually more appealing for the people to join. So thank you. That was amazing and perfect. And I love how you related your income to what you provided, because we all have different things we would like to provide for. My last 90 days / before summit of next year, big goal is to pay off Big Blue. My goal a few years ago was to buy Big Blue. Well, Big Blue is a big car payment that I make, but now I want to pay her off because I'm tired of the car payment. But it's that's my chopping at the tree. So I love how you shared that too. It's what it stands for, that seriously. Thank you. Sorry I had to hijack. I just had to come in and insert a little amen to that, and then let Amy take her part.
No, I love that you said that. And I love what Sarah said. Like, that's why you work. Like, it is your mission statement, like Ashley was saying. And it is knowing what that money stands for. Knowing what that money is going to go towards to, not just I want to earn $200. I want to earn $200 to go towards whatever that is for you, because that is what you will show up for. That's what you need to show up for. I was talking to Caitlin today and about, just like Ashley said, like, first of all, like, if we're not doing the recipe, what are we do? Like, what are we doing as coaches? Like, why are we on this call? Why are we, doing the things sometimes? We really have to, there's a gnat. Gnats have been really bad lately in North Carolina. I don't know what's going on, but sorry. That's just like, so if you see me like swatting, that's what it is. I don't know what's going on, but we have to have that driving force, no matter what that is, because otherwise, if you're not showing up, and I was talking to Caitlin, and it's a bigger picture, is basically, me looking, and I'll use Mia as an example, because when we talk about kids, man, that just like jerks in the heartstrings. Like, you know what, baby? I don't really feel like showing up today. So, daddy's just going to have to keep going to this job that he really doesn't like. And we're, not going to be able to go on that trip to Disney because I just don't feel like it today. Like, when you can like look at it that way, whatever that thing is for you, maybe it's telling your child or something, you know what, honey, I don't feel like showing up today. And so we're not going to be able to allow you to play soccer because we don't have the extra for that. You guys, like, tie it to something bigger. It has to be tied to something bigger. And then you will start showing up. And I kind of wanted to touch on, like, Ashley, she saw the changes in her journey, and she kept taking one step in front of the other, even though, she may have she stumbled along the way, and maybe she was, stuck in her progress. I mean, we've all been there. We've all had off days. We've all had, whatever it is going on. But because she had that vision, she showed up, and you share your struggles. A lot of times when we have struggles or challenges, I should say, sometimes they can be, positive. Like, we have a baby, we, move, we get married. All of those things are positive, but they can still, for some reason, they can still kind of get people out of focus of their vision. And then it may be more of a challenge in a not so happy way, losing a loved one, some of the things that Kelly's gone through, just, my sister was diagnosed with stage 4 brain tumor. Like, all of those things can get in our way of our vision, and we have to like take a step back and wipe that lens off and remember why we're here. Because even though through those challenges you can lean in to this community and still take care of yourself and still be consistent. You don't have to share, everything that's going on, but you can, specifically in detail, but you can share the challenge that you're having, and how Beachbody, how working out from home, how having Shakeology, how having that extra income, all of those things is helping you in that season. Because you guys, this is life. And I don't want to be like a negative person, but unfortunately, there are going to be things that get in our way. And that's the same with our health and wellness journey. And that's like a huge mission of mine, because I was constantly like in this cycle of the all or nothing. I was constantly in the cycle of starting and stopping every time life would get in the way. Every time, the holidays would come up. We want to learn how to navigate those, not be, all in or all out. We have to learn how to navigate those. So yes, Kelly, focus on what we can do. There are going to be things that you cannot control. Okay. But we can control how we show up in our own health and journey. And no matter what's happening in our life, we need to take care of ourselves to get through that in a healthy way. But also it shows people what's possible. It shows other people that they can do it too. Okay. That it's not easy, but that it's possible. So we have to be consistent in our own journey. Drink your dang shake. Like, just, do that. If you can't work out, Amanda Baker had a leg procedure. Sister has lost 6 pounds in 2 weeks because she focused on her nutrition. Like, we all know we got to eat. So, there are, when we can't maybe physically be there, there are some things that we can control. Because when you do that, like going back to Ashley, she wasn't, and some of us aren't where we want to be in our journey, but because we're showing up and we're doing the things that built her confidence, that built her belief around Shakeology, it built her belief around Beachbody. When she saw that income coming in, she saw the bigger picture. So when we're a product of the product, which is one of the things that we do, is it increases that belief, and it's easier to talk to people about because you believe in it so much. But if you're like sort of kind of doing your workouts, or maybe you're jumping around on your workouts, or maybe you get your shake in when you feel like cleaning your blender out, like, be consistent. Like, because you will see, no matter if you're stuck in your journey or you have 200 pounds to lose, you're gonna have that belief. And then it's going to be so much easier to talk about. It's going to be so much easier to show up and be consistent. We've talked about the recipe and opening your store. And I'm glad that she brought that up. And I love that analogy so much, because we do that. And a lot of times we say, well, maybe you're posting, and I'm even going to take it to another level. Maybe you are posting on social media, but you're not inviting anybody into your store. Like, it's like somebody, I thought about like building a church. If the church just doesn't sit there. They have people that go out and talk to other people and invite them in. And, it's the same thing. So it has to be both pieces of that. We know so many people start not only health and wellness and then jump to the next thing, but they also start their own business. And then the next thing you know, they're selling Scentsy. And the next thing you know, they're selling whatever else is out there. And, they're jumping from thing to thing. That's why so many people watch, because they're like, I wonder if she's going to jump like everybody else. Prove them wrong. Prove them. That's my mindset. I'm like, keep watching me, sister, because I'm not going anywhere. Like that, like, fuels my fire. People need to know that, and Summer taught us this, when you go to your page, like, look, and this is something that I want you guys to do, take a look at your social media when you get off. Can people tell that you love them, that they can trust you, and that you can help them? Because if you can't tell that, that's a huge thing. And this is something, you guys, this, okay? Stop scrolling social media and saying you're working. Stop watching all the Instagram stories. Stop commenting and posting on all the coach posts and counting that as business time. Like, I'm not saying that we can't do those things, but make sure you've done your recipe first. I tell my coaches that, like, don't watch my Instagrams. Like, I don't want to see your face on my Instagram stories until I know you've done your recipe. And I'm guilty of it too. I have to check myself and be like, Amy, you gotta do your crap. I think it's Micah Folsom. Her hashtag is like, just do your crap or something like that. You got to tell your time where to go, you guys, because if you don't, and you're scrolling Facebook and you're, you feel like you're on, and maybe your spouse sees that you're on, but then you're not bringing in the income, then they're going to get frustrated, and they're going to be like, all you do is you have your face in your phone, and like, what are you doing? And it's going to cause stress in your family and in your marriage. And so we have to tell, be consistent with the recipe, but you gotta tell your time where to go so that you can get in and get out, because this is not all day. Like they were saying, it's not all day. Ashley did not work all day and make that income. She got in and she got out. Okay. You don't, and that's why it's so important too that you are consistent in your stories, so that, because the more that you're consistent, you're going to have more people engaging, you're going to have more people watching, and that just builds over time. But if you do it every once in a while and then you get distracted by what girl's doing over here, and I always go back to Summer's analogies because they're easy for me to remember, talking about planting your seeds. If you plant your crop and then you start looking at what somebody's doing over here, because I think that comparing, I know, again, I'm not telling you anything that I haven't done myself, not being consistent because I was too busy comparing myself to somebody else's business. But if you're looking at somebody else's field, then something's going to come eat your crop. So don't do that. Stay in your lane, put your blinders up, and focus on what you need to do to build your business, to fight for your why, your vision, and what that looks like for you. If you are in this all day, it is a time management issue, not a beach body, not anything else. It is a time management issue. And so tell your time where to go. And I know that every week, Kelly goes live on y'all's team page and tells you what to focus on. And I know that she plans out her week, and you have to plan your days. You have to tell your time where to go. I've had to do that because, and I know Sarah homeschools too, and she does Beachbody, and she has her own farm and milks goats and stuff during the day. And I'm like, I only got one kid, and I'm like, so, we have so many people with different backgrounds that are making it work. You can make it work. You can make it work. It is not, what we do is not hard. It is very, very, very simple, but it does take work, and it's very easy not to do as well. So plan your week, plan your day, set a timer. I have to do that. Like when I'm like, it shouldn't take you a minute to add 10 new people. And I'm not even joking. Like, set your timer and add your friends. Don't overthink it. Don't think, well, she's going to wonder why I'm friending her, or, whatever the case. Like, stop doing that. You're killing your time. Just do it. It's not a big deal. They're not going to come and, eat you or anything like that. Like, I have to tell myself these things. People need us. So, you just don't ever know. It may not be that person, but it may be their sister. It may be their friend. So don't look at the bigger picture with expectation or strings attached. Just add some people, like you were saying, hey to them. Okay. And the last thing that I want to say, you guys, so we're in the last quarter of 2019, right? First of all, the last 3 months of the year is not a holiday. Okay. You have Thanksgiving, and you have Christmas, and you have New Year's. So really, that's only 3 days. technically. Even if you do like 2 on Thanksgiving and 2 on Christmas, that's 5 days. Okay. So with that being said, that's not an excuse not to show up for your business. Okay. We can take time off on the holidays, obviously, but every other day, like, show up, because people, and you're going to hear all the excuses. Like, we all know we're going to hear all the excuses. Well, I don't have time, or I don't have money because of the holidays, and blah, 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 blah. So what? I hear them too. You just add them to your list for next time, but keep showing up, because we have to create, like, this is the season, this is the time to be the most consistent that you ever have been. Because then when January 2020, when everybody and their mama wants to start on January 1st, you're going to be the person that they come to, because you've been showing up and you've been inviting them for the past whatever months, and you followed up and you've done all the things. If you don't show up, they're going to come knocking on my door. You know what I'm saying? Or, whoever's door, like, because whoever has been consistent. So build that, like, this is the golden time to do it. When so many people slow down, when so many people coast, choose not to be everybody else. Don't be average. Don't be basic. Be consistent and show up. And I can promise you that you will, so what? You don't, and I'm talking to myself right now too. Kelly knows it. You may not reach your end of year goal. You may not. I may not. But you know what? I am going to be further along we'll be further along than we are right now if we continue to do the things and build our business and help other people and make an impact and fight for our vision than if we coast. We'll be closer, and we will have created that momentum, that compound effect that Kelly was talking about, that it builds over time, and you will start January with so much momentum, it will blow your mind. But if you coast, just like in our health and wellness journey, we gotta like start, like, undo all the things that we did for 3 months, and that is not fun, and it's harder to get that water going again. So don't stop pumping the water. Pump the water 5 days a week. Set your timer. Be consistent, and I promise, every bit of your effort, every bit of your time, every bit will pay off. But you just gotta keep going. But I promise it will. You may not see the what did it say? The day you plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit. And I have to remind myself of that. Just like Ashley said, 3 months from now, guess what? 3 months from now is, you want January to be your best freaking month? Like, let's do it, So anyway, I got my, I'm gonna have to calm down to be able to go to bed. Jeez.
No, girl, I know. No, so good. I love it. I know. I told Amy that night, I was like, I can't listen to these Josh Coates calls at night, because then I can't go to sleep. He makes me want to work till 5 a.m. Not because he makes you want to work because he's like, work. It's more because you just get pumped up, and then you're like, I just want to invite all the people.
I just want to do all the things.
So good. Oh my gosh, so good, y'all. Plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit. I was writing down all these like one-liners. When so many people decide to choose not to be like everyone else. I feel like that, you know what I mean? Like, thank you. Like, I just think that the one thing I think that you have to be aware of is the moment you step into this consistency, that inner child in you is going to start throwing a tantrum and tell you can't. And there's a really good podcast, Kayla Ibanez's podcast, Stop the Hey Girl. Her latest one is on imposter syndrome. So you can fast forward the first 9 minutes, because she and the person are just like gabbing, which is cute. But if you like need to get to business, like, go to minute 9, and it's like 15 minutes of like what the mean girl, and that's kind of how Amy and I help each other, is when the mean girl starts talking, because you're going to hear like, well, like, like the girl I've been talking to who just signed up with a makeup company today. You know what I mean? Or the person who's going to back out and tell me that it doesn't work, or it's just, but if you look for evidence of it working, like being surrounded here and hearing their stories and remembering, no, like I heard this story, like every time someone's asked me, because I've been a coach longer and I didn't track to see my time. I guess I could go back one day and check it all, like in income progression. But when I heard, Ashley share her story of the 2-2-2 consistency, it helped me, because then if I had a coach who had a goal, I could say, my girl Ashley did this. Like, I know this works, and you can't take out a piece of the recipe, y'all. Like, there's a video I'll have to find on YouTube where Summer talks about it. Like, you wouldn't make macaroni and cheese and not put the noodles in. And the invite is like the noodles. You'd have cheesy water. Like, that's the quote I always have in my head. So if you're just like liking people's posts and commenting on stuff but never inviting, you're just making cheesy water. But this was so good. And you're right. Like, you go look at your social media. Are you adding value? Which I would say, I think when I see what I see a lot of value being added, which is really good, and I love how you said to tell your time where to go. Today was one of the busiest days I've had this fall so far, and it was the most productive day I've had because it was so busy. I had to get in and get out. Like, I missed a lot of stuff going on the team page. I'll catch up on it later, but I got my invites out and I got my connections done before field trip today. Like, that was, and so I think that there's just so many nuggets on this call. And when you listen to people's stories, let it give you hope and point to what's possible, and that's why I wanted to bring them on tonight. Because I think you hear like me, or you'll hear Sarah, or you'll hear Rebecca, or you'll hear Angie or Angela, like coaches that are on the team that are teaching, or Megan, and you hear us all the time, and we're like one big family. And it's like when your sister tells you over and over and over again to go try something because it's going to work, and you're like, yeah, that's great. But then like her friend comes over and starts talking and you're like a little more interested. Like, that's okay. That's normal. It doesn't offend, but I think it's important to hear that this is consistent across the board. And thank you guys so much for coming tonight to lean in and to share.
Kelly, I wanted to say one more thing too. Whenever you were talking about, like when we are doing the recipe, you guys, like you were talking about catching up in the team page, like check your notifications. And I need to be better about this. Like, check your notifications like in the morning and then like at night. Or maybe you need to do it 3 times a day, depending on how many notifications you have, if that makes you, feel better. Because I know the number sometimes can, if you're inviting, invite. Like, that needs to be like what you're doing during that time. Like, don't invite somebody and then one of your coaches messages you and ask a question, or maybe you get a response from somebody and you feel like you've got to go invite. And then move to, like, I have a certain time, like when I invite, I have a certain time when I add new people. You can add new people while you're sitting on the toilet. Like, stop, you like have a certain time when you're doing follow-ups, have a certain time when you sit down and respond to messages, because don't feel like that you need to respond to a message like this, because then all you're teaching them is that you're constantly going to be answering them like this. And then you're teaching them that as a coach, you have to answer like this. So focus on what because if not, then you may have invited one person and then you spent all your time doing something else, and then you get distracted, and then you're on Facebook, and then you're over here, and you guys know how it is. It's like you're constantly. So just make sure that when you're doing what you're doing, that you're doing that thing. Set your timer and then move to the next thing, but make sure that you have certain times that you do certain things so that you don't get distracted, because social media is very loud and it can be very distracting between messages and this is something else. If you don't have your phone set where it vibrates every time you get a message or a notification. Cut that off. You don't need that. It's going to be a trigger and like a stimulant for you, and we don't need that for our health reasons, and we don't need it for our families. Like, it will let you know, you will know what you need to get to. So I just wanted to add that part too, because that's huge.
For sure. And like Rebecca, like if you're talking to someone, talk to someone. Don't talk to someone while you're checking in your Facebook group. Like, be focused and intentional. That's so true. You know what I mean? And Megan, that's hilarious that somebody found your phone number and called you. Sign them up to be a coach. But that's why I was sharing like Josh's group, and I shared the tracker and the page. But like, I used to use this digitally last year when I did his push group, and then I stopped using the digital and I was kind of going by memory. And since I printed this off this week, I'm like, oh, I'm done. And then one day I like squirreled and I looked down, I'm like, oh my gosh, I did everything but my inviting. Like, it was just one of those, but it's, you don't know if you don't know. And so if you don't have a checklist, you know, we can get you set up with, we have several to help, but so much goodness, y'all. If you have questions after this call for Amy or Ashley, just let me know. I'm happy to ask. Ashley's in our team page, actually. We're like flies on the wall. I mean, Amy is, so you can like tag her. I mean, I just.
Yeah, so don't talk about me because I can say, I'm just kidding.
Bad. But
I'm just kidding.
No, I know. I'm grateful for you guys. Like, I hope this gives you guys a piece of just, not even a piece, like a gift of that hope that like, this is possible. It doesn't have to take all day. The vision part is huge. So I'd love to share that Tony Robbins video. The mission part, y'all know the mission and vision of our team is big, and I hope and pray yours is birthed if it hasn't been yet. And one last thing I'll say, and then I'll close this in prayer, is like when you were talking, Amy, about like, there's two different kinds of pressure that I see happen in this business. And so sometimes we feel like we have to put pressure on ourselves to like hit a financial goal to be valid. Like, you think you're valid. You're not a valid coach if your goal is $250 or $500 or $1,000, or you're not valid if you're not a six-figure earner. I've battled with that because you see a lot of recognition in our company, which is to people that work very hard, and you see incomes flash across the screen. And what I want you to know is like, whatever gives you joy is valid. So if paying for your Shakeology is going to make you dance in your kitchen because you don't have that bill anymore, shoot for it. If paying, last year when I was in the group with Josh Coates, I did a group with him for 3 months with Amy, and that's when we really started like working together. He asked like, what's the big thing? And there were people in there, they want to be six-figure earners, they want to be Million Club, they want to pay off their like house, they want, you know. And at that point, we had just had to tell my daughter we couldn't afford to buy her shoes that she needed for school until September, because in August our car broke, our house flooded, and our washing machine broke all in the same month. And my paycheck was like a lot lower than normal in the business. And my thing that motivated me was I just wanted to pay for her shoes. Like, and I was after 5 years of coaching, but it gave me a lot of joy. And when I bought her shoes, I took the box and I had it in my office for the rest of the year, and I wrote 5-star on the box because that's still my goal. But the shoes remind me of what gives me joy. When I work my business, I can pay off the car, which means we can go to the beach, which means I don't have to tell her, no, I'm sorry, you can't have the shoes you want. No, I'm sorry, we're going to pay less, and we can glue the Ked sticker on the back, because that's what my mom used to tell me. Back when Keds were cool, which they might be again. Yeah, I'm that old. Sorry, I'm dating myself. But whatever gives you joy to push, you need to push some days when you don't feel like it, but like, be excited about it. And it doesn't have to be, it could be whatever that is. Shoes, like paying for therapy for your kid was a goal of mine one time. You know, when we outgrew our car, paying for my car, like that was a thing. But yeah, you cut the Ked sticker off. But, you know, if you define it and put it in front of you, like I'm about to make my last 90 days vision board, and Big Blue's on there for a different reason now, but I have other things on there too. Some are small and some are big. Date night, having your house clean, getting someone to come help you with your kids so you can have a break. Whatever gives you joy. Like, and when you get those little goals, then the momentum gets easier because you're showing up for something that you are emotionally excited about, and the income will come. But you're not like more valuable based on your goals being bigger or lesser. To me, what makes you like a value is you, and what makes you a good coach is you're consistent into whatever your goal is. And I think when you succeed in the small goals, it gives you hope you can do more. You know, my first goal was like, I wanted to make a little bit of extra money so Courtney could say no to a speaking engagement. And then it started to spiral to more of like, oh, I could like make it where he doesn't have to travel anymore. And you know what I'm saying? And so find that tonight, and that, because you can grab hold onto, and that mission and vision. And yes, you got to do the work, but when you're talking on social media, talk about the mission and the vision, and don't be afraid of the work, because it's not going to crush you. Sometimes I think what crushes us is the lies that hold us back from doing the work, where we feel like we're behind all the time. And, you know, like, and like Amy said, like, there's going to be seasons, like, and we talked about this in the team too. If you would take off from a regular job because something happened, you would take off from your Beachbody business. If someone passes away, if something happens that's tragic, if someone gets super sick, you call in. So give yourself grace, you know. But if you wake up, you just don't feel like it, that's different, you know what I mean? But I'm thankful for you guys being here. I'm going to say a quick prayer. I know it's been long, but good to have us on here. I could talk all night. Y'all know that, so I should just keep it short. But I appreciate you guys being here and leaning in with us tonight. This was so good. So let's pray. Heavenly Father, I am so grateful for Amy and Ashley and their time with us tonight and their team. Lord, I'm thankful for the Freedom Family and for Limitless Lux. I'm thankful for the lives that are changed because of everyone here's yes. God, I pray that we would have a fruitful season of planting and also of the harvest that's coming in the fall and winter, that you would give us courage to step into our mission and our vision, that you would give us courage to speak it loudly, that you would give us courage to forgive ourselves when we mess up and move forward, knowing that our mistakes are actually going to bless others when we teach from them, to not be afraid to learn out loud, to not be afraid of failure, but instead to enjoy the process of growing. And Lord, I pray that we would help change so many lives this fall and winter, that we would bring hope to so many families, that we would bring freedom to so many families, that we would show people that they are made to know they are loved and to live a healthy life and to embrace a life of true health inside and out. And I pray that you would give us courage to step into that role as coach in a new way. And for everyone listening to this caller who's here tonight, that they would just go to bed just having the satisfaction of knowing that they're on an amazing team surrounded by amazing people with an amazing purpose and amazing calling. And God, that you would just continue to unite us and help us to lean in together and lean on one another when we need it, and to cheer one another on to our accomplishments, and just to have that consistency and discipline, God, and also that trust in you, that you will take care of all the little things that can sometimes distract us from what we're called to do in our mission in this business and in life. And I'm just grateful, Lord, that we're here. And we give you all the glory as we say all these things in your most holy name. Amen. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Kelly.
We gotta take a picture or it didn't happen, right? Real quick, everybody smile. I will send you the recording. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Amazing. Have a great night. Love you guys.